What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have another Fm22 rebuild challenge, and usually with these rebuild challenges I go for 5 years to see what I can do and how I can impact the club. Today is a little bit different. We're taking someone from a little bit further down the league pyramid within England. We are tackling Portsmouth. They are obviously former FA Cup winners, former Premier League winners, not when it was a Premier League, but former Division 1 winners in England, and now they find themselves down in League 1 through some mismanagement, through some poor finances and stuff like that. But that is the goal today. We are taking over Portsmouth and seeing what we can do with them. But instead of a regular 5-year period that I usually do these in, we're going to go a little bit longer, and we're going to go for 10 years because they're a little bit further down. I also think getting into the Premier League is going to be very, very difficult as well. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a 10-year rebuild. I will warn you, this is going to be a long video. So go make yourself a cup of tea, go get yourself a drink, strap in, and get ready for this Portsmouth rebuild. If the rebuilds are something that you do enjoy on the channel, please do drop a like on it down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are picking up the content for the very first time, and ring that bell so you're told each and every time that we upload a video, because the rebuilds are coming weekly every single Sunday. So without any further ado, let's get into it and take a look at this Portsmouth side. So guys, here we are in the Portsmouth history section. As I said, they are 2 times winners of the top flight of English football in 1949 and 1950 consecutively. Obviously, they do have those 2 FA Cups, most recently that FA Cup victory in 2008 with Harry Redknapp at the helm. They've won the Championship, they've won League One twice as well, but they did have a nice spell in the Premier League, as you can see here, before being relegated in 2009, 2010. They were relegated out of the Championship as well. In 2011, 2012, relegated out of League 1 in 2012, 2013, but have got themselves back into the League 1, Sky Bet League 1, as of the 2016-2017 season, where they've been for the last few years. The goal is initially, first season, get promoted, get ourselves into the Championship, and see what we can do beyond that. I think this 10-year rebuild is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but if we go into take a look at the squad, what I will say first and foremost is we've got loads of players on loan. Gavin Bazunu, the goalkeeper from Manchester City, is one. Miguel Aziz is another one on loan from the Premier League. He is on loan from Arsenal. But it's going to be a very interesting one this time around. In terms of the club vision, let me expand that so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. This is what they want. The club culture is to develop players using the club's youth system. We can definitely do that. They want to expand the stadium and work within the wage budget as an ongoing thing. Again, we can definitely do something in and around that. At the end of the current season, this is what they're looking for. They want to reach the playoffs in Sky Bet League 1, reach the 3rd round minimum of the FA Cup, reach the 2nd round of the EFL Cup, and the EFL Trophy, the Papa John's Pizza Cup, they do not care about, and they want to work towards becoming self-sustainable as a club, which again I think is something that we can definitely do. Beyond that, they want to get promoted to the Championship and then effectively stay in the Championship, and then at the end of the 25-26 season they kind of want to record a top half finish in the Championship, which I think we can do a little bit better than. If we look at their finances and stuff, they currently have a transfer budget of 61k. They are in positive in terms of their overall balance, and they have no debts. So this is going to be very interesting, but they do want to expand the stadium, so the debt will go up. That is kind of self-explanatory. In terms of the tactic that we are using for this, we are using the GYRFM Swanzalona, the 4-2-3-1 that Gareth has put out. Gareth is my tactic man. This is potentially one of his most consistent tactics that he has released, the 4-2-3-1, the Swanzalona. It is fantastic. I will leave a link to in the description to this tactic so you can go and check out some of the other tests that we have done with it. But it is a 4-2-3-1, wing backs on both sides, central defenders, DLP, box-to-box midfielder, inside forwards on both sides, shadow striker, and then obviously that advanced striker up top. So this is the kind of team that we are looking at. There are some players in here that I actually know personally. Lee Brown, former Bristol Rovers left back, who sent Bristol Rovers into Sky Bet League 1 with his goal on the final day of the season, 93rd minute. Lovely guy, lovely Brown. And they've also got Ellis Harrison, who again, former Bristol Rovers man that I do know myself. I'll be looking for Ellis to chip in with a decent amount of goals in season number 1. So that is kind of what we're looking at in terms of the competitions. If we go in Sky Bet League 1 and we take a look at the season preview, these are the odds. We are 11-2 at the moment to win the division. So we are expected to finish in that 5th place spot. Sheffield Wednesday, the big favourites in Sky Bet League 1. So let's get my head down. Let's simulate season 1. I'll see you at the end of the year. So guys, we are at the end of season 1 and we have done it. We have been promoted back into the championship. We go up as champions with 100 points. And in terms of some of the other competitions, it looks like Ipswich Town were a little bit of a thorn in our side. Knocked out by Ipswich in the FA Cup, knocked out by Ipswich again in that Carabao Cup, and we knocked out in the southern section 3rd round by West Ham's under-23s in the Papa John's Trophy. But to be honest, it all kind of pales in comparison. We wanted to get ourselves promoted. MK Dons beating Ipswich in the playoff final as well. We wanted to get ourselves promoted out of the division, and we have done that. 30 victories out of the 46 games, 10 draws, 6 losses, 96 goals scored, 36 goals against with that positive 60 goal difference. We win the division by 3 points in the end, beating Sunderland, but we're relatively well clear, 9 points clear of that top playoff spot. So we've done a very, very good thing. We are promoted into the Sky Bet Championship. In terms of the transfers and stuff, I've got a little bit of a wage budget to spend, but we are currently overspending quite a lot on our wage budget. 3.3 million in terms of transfer value, transfer budget that we've got. Obviously, a lot of the loan players are going back, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can kind of do here. We've got some players coming through the youth ranks. It's actually been quite positive, actually, the youth intake that we've had thus far. Some good talents here. Stobie and Neil Shorey, some good talents coming through, which I'm very, very impressed with. But that is the end of season 1. We're going to have to see what we can do with season number 2. John Marcus is top goal scorer for us, most assists. My guy Lee Brown, well done. Let's see what happens over the summer going into season number 2. Right then guys, transfer update for season number 2, and we start off with a few loans. The first one that I want to talk about actually is Gavin Bazunu from Manchester City, the goalkeeper. He has stayed on loan for a second season. He was very, very good for us last season in Sky Bet League 1. 19 clean sheets out of 44 games, averaging a 7 rating. So we've got him back to be a part of things in the championship. We've also signed Miguel Aziz as well from Arsenal. I did initially let him go back, but then I saw he was listed for loan. Did very, very well for us last season. 40 appearances, 5 goals from him. Nice transfer value and slightly better than the other options that we have in that spot. We've also gone out and got ourselves a striker, and one that I'm quite impressed to see how he gets on. We have signed Troy Parrott on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. I think he's very, very well rounded. Spent last season on loan at Ipswich and MK Dons. MK Dons obviously were one of the teams that got promoted with us. They came through the playoffs. Very nice physically, good mentally, and in terms of his technicals, I quite like what he's got in the locker. Going to be interesting to see how well he does. I don't usually sign players that need to work on becoming consistent. It's usually something I do look for in a player, but it's going to be interesting to see what Troy can bring to the team. Paul Downing also goes out to Charlton for 65k, and then we've also made 2 free transfer signings. Luke Dreher comes in from Crystal Palace, ball playing central midfielder, again adding that little bit more depth for us there. And also, this is a player who now belongs to us, so in the future we could potentially sell him for some money. I quite like Luke Dreher. Seems relatively consistent from what I can see. Nice attributes, decent on both feet. It's kind of what we're looking for in that central midfield spot. And then we've also signed Nathan Holland from West Ham. I think he can be an electric winger for us, who could probably go up into the next level, to be perfectly honest. He was on loan last season from West Ham at Oxford United, where he got 13 goals. How many assists did he get? He got 11 goals and 7 assists in the league, averaging over a 7, 15 goals and 10 assists in all competitions. He was let go by West Ham, and we pick up Nathan Holland on a free transfer. Needs a little bit of work in terms of his mentals, but his technicals and his physicals are very, very good. And the fact that he can play in 4 key positions for me as an accomplished player is very, very important. In terms of the competitions though, no pizza trophy this time around. We do have the Sky Bet Championship, we do have the Emirates FA Cup and the Carabao Cup to worry about. The board expectation is to avoid relegation, and in terms of the Sky Bet Championship in that season preview, we are expected to finish 17th with odds of 33-1 to win the division. I don't think it will be a back-to-back promotion party at Portsmouth, but we can just see what we can do. Hey, in terms of that club vision though, we did touch on it slightly. This is what the board expect. The club culture has expanded a little bit. They want us to play defensively solid football, possession football as well, make the most of set pieces, play entertaining football, and play high tempo pressing football. They want us to kind of do a lot of stuff, but they are happy that we are signing players under the age of 23 for the first team, which is good. We are working within the wage budget again, which is relatively solid for us. In terms of this season though, avoid relegation in the Championship, be competitive in the FA Cup, and reach the second round as a minimum in that EFL Cup. So not too much. The main focus is that league, as always. Let's see what happens come the end of the season. So end of season 2, and we've done really well, guys. We are in the top half of the Championship. We have finished in 11th there with 63 points. Yes, we do have a -5 goal difference, but I'm not too worried about it. There's a few teams in the league on 63. You've got Swansea, Nottingham Forest and ourselves, and then we've also got Preston North End on 62, Bristol City on 61 as well. It's a relatively tight clump. We're miles away from the playoffs if I'm perfectly honest, but there are some absolute juggernaut teams in this division, but we are a relatively safe way from that relegation zone. We're kind of 20 points away from both ends, which I'm kind of happy with, finishing relatively comfortably mid-table in our first season in the Championship. As you can see, some big teams in here. Bournemouth, West Brom, Watford, Brentford, Norwich are in here as well. Blackburn you would expect to do pretty well as well. So some very good teams in here, and Birmingham, Peterborough and Cardiff are unfortunately the teams that do go down. Bournemouth go up champions. West Brom go up in that second spot despite both getting 104 points. I believe they are being separated on goal difference, which is absolutely ludicrous. West Brom only losing 2 games all season, away at Bournemouth and away at QPR. It's not too shabby, is it? In terms of some of the other competitions though, knocked out in the 3rd round of the Emirates FA Cup by Liverpool. I'm happy to get there. To get knocked out by Liverpool is what it is. And then we get into the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, and again knocked out by Premier League Leeds United. So ultimately a very good season for us. In terms of our transfer kitty, I don't have one. So this is going to be an interesting summer window going into season number 3. I'll be back once the window's closed. So then, transfer update going into season number 2. First of all, let's talk about the outgoing. Haji Mogna is how I'm going to say this guy's name, has departed the club. He has gone over to Huddersfield Town for 145k, which could in theory rise up to 250 in terms of his bonuses. I didn't think he was a good enough player to get in our team, and we have signed ourselves a different right back, to play in that position. So I was more than happy to let him go. That right back in question is Jan Valeri. I don't understand why he was released by Southampton, and going from Southampton to Portsmouth, I'm sure that will cause a little bit of controversy. But I think in terms of everything, he's a little bit more well-rounded, better technicals, much better in terms of his mentals, and his physicals are slightly a little bit better as well. He only wanted to come in as a fringe player, but I think he will probably pin down that starting right back job for me. Can play pretty much anywhere up that right hand side, so I think he really adds something to that. And then we went and signed big Frank Tajut is how I'm going to say this dude's name. Italian forward. He was formerly of AC Milan. He was released by Milan. I think he looks brilliant in terms of what I need him to do. I need him to put the ball in the back of the net. That is his job. And I think he's got all the attributes to do that. Very nice physically, pretty good mentally as well. Good determination on the guy, good jumping reach, good stamina, and knows in terms of his finishing attributes where the back of the net is. He does come in as a star player on 15, almost 16k a week, but we need that goal scorer, especially in the Championship. You need someone to put the ball in the back of the net for you, and I'm hoping he can do that for us. In terms of the tactic and the season and the best 11, this is kind of where we're looking going into season number 3. Bazunu, I managed to renew for a 3rd season. I think we're going to have to go out and actually find ourselves a goalkeeper moving forward, but at the moment, Bazunu can come in and do season number 3. Valeri at right back, Raggett, Robertson, and this dude at left back, sure. Joe Morrell, former Bristol City guy, alongside Luke Dreher, Harness, Tunnicliffe, Holland, and then Tajut up top. And we've got some other options here on the bench as well. You know what? Let's give Lee Brown a run. Lee Brown can come in at left back. I can say Lee Brown's name, and I know him, as I said. So this is kind of where we're at in terms of the competitions. Again, much the same three as last season, and we've got Forest Green in that first round of that Carabao Cup. The board expectation is to fight against relegation, and the season preview this time around says 50-1. So we've actually got worse odds now. But there are some ginormous clubs in here now. Wolves, Southampton, and Fulham were the three teams that were relegated. We've also got Brentford, Watford, Blackburn, Middlesbrough. Like, there are huge teams in this division now, so it's going to be very interesting. Derby also as well have gone down and come back up with their -21 the first season, and have absolutely smashed it coming back. And I've just noticed Anthony Elanga has gone on loan to Blackburn, so he's going to score a lot, isn't he? Wolves in the division as well, 1-4 favourites. Yikes. In terms of that club vision, I try to update you guys on it every single season. The club objectives are to avoid relegation in that championship, reach the 4th round as a minimum of the FA Cup, and reach the 3rd round of the EFL Cup. Let's see what happens. So guys, our second season in the Championship didn't go anywhere near as well as the first one. We finished 17th. We did avoid that relegation scrap again by kind of 20 points, but definitely much further down. The Championship seemed very competitive this time around. We finished on 59 points, but the main thing that I'm worried about is that -25 goal difference. That is a relegation threatened goal difference. I'm not a big fan of it. We conceded 99 goals, 11 against Fulham. Like, we shipped a lot, to be perfectly honest. Only scored 74 as well. The amount of goals that we scored actually would put us somewhere up in and around 4th, 5th. It's just that defence that really needs some work. 17 victories, 8... Is that us? Yeah, 17 victories, 8 draws, and 21 losses throughout the course of the season. Wolves absolutely barnstorm themselves, get themselves out of the Championship with Brentford and Fulham as well, who go up in the playoffs. So very good return for them. In terms of the finances though, still got 0. So, still got nothing in terms of that transfer budget. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we do. I also touched on it last time that we have Bazanu as the goalkeeper. It's time to go and buy one. Let's see what we can do, guys. Transfer update then for season number 4. And the first thing we have to update you on is this guy, Armand Drusland is how I'm going to say this dude's name. He was in our youth intake and I accidentally didn't sign him. So I've signed him back because he is a 5-star potential player. But I had to wait a little while until he turned 18 for him to actually join the club. So he is back. But we've signed our first new gen of the save. Comfort Makoba comes in from Bristol City, my club, my team, for a little bit of money actually. We went out and spent some money, 850k to make him our goalkeeper, our number 1 goalkeeper. He conceded 60 for Bristol City in the Championship last season, but he was only 16 at that time. He's 17 years of age now. He's got 5-star potential, 3-star current abilities, better than what I've got in Alex Bass. So I thought, why not? Let's give him a run out, and hopefully this could be a guy that we can sell for big money in the future. He's English under 21 goalkeeper, age 17, so I thought it was a good bit of business going forward. Then we also picked up the 3 transfers, as we do every year. Bazan Vieira comes in as a secondary striker option to play behind Big Frank. I think he's got a few good attributes that I look for in a striker, so I think he could potentially do a little bit of a job off the bench. Stephen Kolker comes in as centre-back reinforcements from Galatasaray. This was potentially one of the best centre-backs I saw play in real life when he came to us on loan. Came to us, by us I mean Bristol City. He came to Bristol City on loan from Spurs, and he was exceptional. I know he's had his issues in his career, but I've brought him back to England. I know he's 32 years of age, but I still think Stephen Kolker as a leader can do a little bit of a job for us. And we also signed this guy who I think can be electric for us in that central attacking midfield role. Emmanuel Perry is how I'm going to say this guy's name, maybe. I don't know. He was released from Dortmund. I think, yes, he was released by Dortmund, so we managed to pick him up on a free transfer. I think we are going to be able to sell this guy for an absolute mint moving forward. But obviously, Championship, very difficult. They want us to avoid relegation again. If we go into that season preview, this is kind of where we're at, 50-1, expected to finish in 20th, so it's going to be very difficult for us to get out of that Clubs relegated though, West Ham are down here now, along with Sheffield United and Stoke, but you've still got Southampton, still got Watford in here, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how things do pan out for us this season. Obviously the other ones, we've got Bristol Rovers in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Don't know what it is about playing teams in the Southwest, but I'm enjoying it so far, and then obviously that Emirates FA Cup as well. In terms of the club vision, I'd love to win an FA Cup, by the way. In terms of the club vision, they've kind of tailored things down a little bit more, so it's a bit more bare bones than what it was last season. Avoid a relegation battle in the Championship, reach the 4th round of the FA Cup, and reach the 3rd round of the EFL Cup. So that's what we're going to have to do. We are struggling. We are currently not working within the wage budget, and there's not really much I can do about that. Let's just hope the season goes well. And the board don't really mind about me overspending on wages as long as we're getting success on the pitch. I'll be back at the end of season number 4. So guys, I don't know what to say. We've been promoted. Portsmouth are going to be a Premier League team again. This is the league table. We finished in 6th and we won the playoffs. We probably didn't deserve to be anywhere near the playoffs, but we managed to get ourselves in there. We got 75 points throughout the course of the season. We kind of did tidy up that goals against. It was 90 plus last season. Now it's down to 72, considering we conceded 10 against West Ham, who absolutely annihilated the league. I don't think it's the end of the world. We did score 83 again, so we are pretty good in front of goal. The striking options doing the work there. 22 victories, 9 draws, and 15 losses, but we do go into the playoffs. So I'm going to show you the schedules to see what, so you can see what we can do. We did have a very nice run towards the end of the season, except from losing 6-2 to West Ham. We beat Watford, the team that finished in 3rd. We beat them 2-0 at Fratton Park in that first game. Harness and then an own goal doing the job there. And then we go to Vicarage Road and draw 1-1. Nathan Holland scoring and cancelling out Taylor Richards' his penalty there. Then we go to Wembley for the playoff final, the biggest game, the biggest financial game in English football, and we absolutely annihilate Southampton, which is nice to see. Barco and Andres Pereira, who was on loan from Manchester United, scored the goals for Southampton, but John Marcus scored a penalty. Romeu with an own goal. Harness and Big Frank completing the rout. We scored 4 inside that first half, so we were 4-1 up at half time and finished the game 4-2, managed to close it out. So we go into the Premier League. It's a nice little run that we put together towards the end here, beating Middlesbrough, Ipswich, Barnsley, Peterborough and Reading. But then it kind of tailed off towards the end of the season, drawing 1-1 with Blackburn and then losing at West Ham. But we got promoted. There's not really much else I can say. In terms of the other competitions, knocked out in the 4th round of the Emirates FA Cup by Middlesbrough and knocked out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup by Watford, but I don't care. Portsmouth are back in the Premier League for season number 5. In terms of finances, I've got 37 million to spend, so now I can actually go and sign some players. So let's see what happens for season number 5. So then guys, we had a big war chest of money to spend and we have gone and spent it. Starting things off then, 2.9 million to bring in Fatout Musiala at the left back position. I think he's a very, very good option for us. A definite upgrade on what we've had there before. Sorry Browner. A very good player for the Premier League, I think. Not an elite level left back, but a very solid player regardless. Double digits in pretty much everything except from heading, long throws, penalty taking, leadership and jumping reach, but I don't need him to do any of those things, to be perfectly honest. He comes in on £2.9 million. We also have gone out and signed Nuan Perez, Argentine defender, centre-back, 25 years of age, was transfer listed from Atletico Madrid, so we went out and bought him. I think he, again, is a step above the centre-backs that we've got. As you can see in the comparison on the right-hand side of the screen, he is definitely a step up on the centre-backs that we have had. Professional personality, good traits as well, good on both feet, nice in terms of his height, okay for everything else, great mentals, decent enough technicals for what I need at this time in the Premier League as we go back in. Eddie Salcido comes in. He was transfer listed by Inter Milan. We got him for £3.8 million. I think he's been out on loan a decent amount. No, he hasn't actually. Last few years he's been at Inter and not played. So he was transfer listed, £3.8 million. He comes in as another option for us. He can play central attacking midfield. He can play up front. He can play out on that left hand side if need be. So again, we're adding that depth option that I think we're very, very much going to need going into a Premier League season. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Stephen Walsh comes in on a free transfer, centre back cover again, a little bit more depth. I think we need a few more options there. Former Celtic player, again, good on both feet, nice tool, can probably do a little bit of damage in the air. Now, where the biggest outlay went, 16 million on Nico Ravella. He was purchased by Aston Villa, who didn't play him. So if we go and have a look at his career stats, they got him for free and didn't play him. 7 appearances in the Premier League for them last season, 1 assist, and 1 player of the match in his 7 games, 6.8 average rating. We paid 16 million for him. I think he's definitely worth it. I think when he does inevitably get sold, I think he will go for a lot more than that. He comes in as a star player, great player, great all across the board, to only 23 years of age, and will only go on to get better, which is fantastic. He also helped me when bringing in Eddie Salcido, because he knew him from his days in like the Italian youth setup, so he was quite happy with that one as well. In terms of some of the others, we've got rid of some players here. Burak Ince we managed to sign. Let's talk about him. Burak Ince we signed on a free transfer. I think he looks great, but I couldn't get a work permit for him, so I had to send him straight out on loan. He has gone out on loan to Anderlecht for the season, and we will be trying to trying to gain a work permit on him. Nat Phillips comes in on a free transfer from Liverpool, another depth option for us at centre-back, and I've had him before in certain rebuilds, so I think he can definitely do a job for us. Josh Wilson Esbrand, again, comes in at left-back, kind of as a fringe player, but definitely as an option to play left-back. We've got a few different options up that left-hand side, and I think he can do a job. On the other flank, we've got Ben Johnson, comes in, free transfer from West Ham, having been... getting set for release, adds another depth option for us there. Nice mentals, great physicals, and good technicals where I need. So I think in terms of balance and stuff, we are in relatively decent shape going into our first season in the Premier League, and obviously season 5 of this rebuild. In terms of the team, this is where we're looking right now. This is how things are shaping up. We got Comfort in goal, Johnson, Phillips, Perez, Muasa, Joe Morel alongside Nico Ravella. Big Frank on the right, Perrier as the central attacking midfield, Holland, and then Eddie Salcido up top. Again, we do have some depth options, but it's not quite as comprehensive as I would have liked. We have spent a decent amount of money. There is no transfer money left. I've pumped a lot of it into wages as well. So, and we are in an overall balance of a negative, and we've got a net debt now of 18, almost 19 million because of expanding the stadium. So lots of fun things going on. We are expected to fight bravely against relegation in the Premier League. Lord help me. Season preview. Do I want to see this? Yeah, 1,000 to 1. That's not really a surprise to me. 1,000 to 1 to win the league, and we are expected to finish stone dead last. So, big task ahead of us this season, just to stay in the division. But by staying in the division a few times, you accrue the money, you accrue the finances, which really help you stay in that division. So it's going to be interesting to see what we are able to do. Final stop on this tour before we get into the season is that club vision. Fight bravely against relegation. 4th round the FA Cup, 3rd round the EFL Cup. That's pretty much it, guys. Let's see what happens. Can we stay in the Premier League in season number 5? It's the end of season number 5, guys, and we have survived by the skin of our teeth. We have finished 17th in the Premier League, just about avoiding relegation. Fulham, West Brom and Nottingham Forest, the teams that go down. We actually have the same amount of points as Fulham, but are slightly better. I was just about to say superior goal difference, but can you have a superior goal difference when it's minus 40? Our better goal difference meant that we managed to stay safe. Basically, it's our sheer fact that we can actually put the ball in the back of the net. We scored the same amount of goals as West Ham, the team that finished in 8th, but we shipped 94 goals, including 11 to Manchester United and 8 to Liverpool. So definitely some work to do at the back there. But we stay in the league. That is the main thing. We stayed in the Premier League in this season. In the other competitions, knocked out in the 5th round of the FA Cup by West Ham and 3rd round of the Carabao Cup by Bournemouth. But the main goal was survival in the Premier League, which we did do. That is the main thing. Eddie Salcido, top goal scorer for us in the Premier League with 17 goals there. Some interesting goings on in terms of some of the other clubs. Man City winning the division as well. Looking quite nice, but we do survive. Newcastle down in 14th as well. Big yikes for them. But 28 points the barrier for survival in the Premier League at the moment, which is just absolutely ridiculous. They say it used to be 40, evidently not when you're in the 2025-2026 season. So finances going into season number 6, I've got £45 million. That Premier League money is kicking in absolutely swimmingly. The debts and loans, the debt's gone probably because of all the Premier League money, and I've got 45 million in my war chest to go out and strengthen this team to hopefully do better than 17th in the Premier League. I'll be back with the transfer update for season number 6 very, very soon. Right then, guys, transfer update for season number 6. We started doing business pretty darn quickly, actually. Mark Goody comes in from Crystal Palace. The central defender can basically play anywhere across the back four, which is exactly what I'm looking for here. A very strong right foot, fairly strong left foot. Again, that depth option. We needed to work on our defence. We conceded far too many last season, so 11.75 million for him. Had a decent enough season with Palace last year, a team that did struggle much the same as us, but the former Chelsea man comes in for 11.75 million. We also signed Joan Padilla, who I think could be a very, very good striker for us. New gen, love the monobrow, fantastic look on the guy. Can play up front, can also play on that right hand side. I will be playing him as a advanced forward. I like his physicals. I like the fact that he's listed as a wonder kid. He comes in from Independiente in Argentina, has fantastic attributes where I need them to be. Very, very good on his left foot. Cap for Argentina at under 23 level. He is only 20 years of age, and I think he could be a very, very good prospect for us. 6.5 million we paid to Independiente for his services, and I'm hoping he can be a real driving force for us in the Premier League this year. We also went over and got Elikovic. Now, if you're watching my Red Star save, my live save, he is an absolute legend of the save. My version of him is better than this, but we went over to Red Star and got a pay £2.6 million for his services. For me, again, it's the utility of the guy, the fact that he can play anywhere across the back four. He's good on both feet, great physicals, great mentals, and good enough technicals where I need them to be. So we went out and signed him from Red Star over in Serbia. Omar Pena comes in as well, the Mexican winger. I think he offers a little bit extra. I like his physicals. He needs some work in terms of his mentals, but he is listed as a wonder kid. He's got that 5-star potential. This is what you're going to see from me now, guys, to be honest. We're going to go and try and sign as many of these wonder kids over the summers as we possibly can. Comes in from Toluca for 6.25 million. I think he could add something that we kind of are lacking a little bit on that side. Good first touch, good dribbling, good technique. It's exactly what we're looking for. We've also signed Hampus Findell from Cagliari. Is that how you say it? Swedish international. He's got 11 caps for Sweden. Very, very nice all round. I think he could be a good pickup for us. In terms of his career stats, he's bounced around a little bit. Was purchased by Cagliari from Juve for 1.4 million, and then we bought him the season after for 4.4 million. He was transfer listed again, so we went out and bought him. Burak Ince now does have a work permit, so that is very, very nice for us. He comes in and will play that central attacking midfield role for us. We also got Edo Kiambe, central midfielder, a bit more of a ball winner this time around, bit more of a physical presence, kind of what I feel we're lacking a little bit in central midfield, so I think he can add that for us there. And we've also signed Kyle Collar. Now, this is who I've spent a lot of money on, guys. He was at Charlton. I think he can be the shining light and the guy who drives our team forward for the remainder of this save, for the remainder of this rebuild. He's capped by England under 21s. He's only 19 years of age. His current value now is 81 to 94 million pounds. The fact that he can play on that left-hand side and play at central attacking midfield if I need him to, very, very good. He will play as an inside forward with that very strong right foot on that left-hand side. There is also something else that I need to talk to you guys about, though. We do have a little bit of a situation going on right now. If we go into the transfer centre, we've got an issue. Comfort is very annoyed and wants to leave, wants to play for a bigger club, so I've been forced to transfer list him. Clubs are coming in left, right and centre for him, so we've been forced to go out and try and sign a new goalkeeper, who I would be very surprised if he wasn't our goalkeeper moving forward. Joe Bursick, I signed this guy in my Leeds United rebuild and he was brilliant in goal, so we've gone out and got him from Stoke as well. It's about to go through, but it's very, very close. Perai, also wants to leave. He wants to play for a bigger club, so I think it's probably going to be Benfica that he goes to. He's currently got transfer bids from Benfica, Ajax and Real Sociedad, so it will be very interesting to see where he goes. Be very disappointed to see him leave, but I think we've got some good strength coming in terms of the players that we've already signed. Club vision for the season, let's talk about that first and foremost. Again, they want us to avoid fight bravely against relegation if we possibly can, reach the 4th round in the FA Cup, reach the 3rd round of the EFL Trophy. Much the same we carry on, and in that Premier League this time around, are we expected to do any better? If we go into that season preview, 900 to 1, so we are slightly better than Bristol City, who have come in and got themselves promoted. Our odds have gone down by 100 to 1, but we're still expected to finish 19th, so let's see what happens, guys. I'll see you at the end of the season. So guys, I don't usually do these updates, but I need to tell you about some of the transfers that did happen. Comfort has gone. He's gone to Montpellier for 12 million. Perai also went in that summer transfer window. He did go to Benfica for £7.5 million. So obviously we did confirm the signing of Joe Bursic from Stoke. In the January though, we did go out and we spent some money. Fausto Vieira comes in as a central midfield option for £13 million. I think he looks great. Former Chelsea guy. I think he could be a very good option for us going forward. And Gianluca Itta, feels like I'm signing lots of left backs. Comes in to play left back for us again. I think he's a little bit of a step up. This is all about sort of building the squad up each season to get them better and better and better to stay in that Premier League. And stay in the Premier League we did. So this is the competition screen. We finished in 14th in the Premier League. So let's expand that one first and foremost so you can kind of see things. We did get 13 victories, 3 draws and 22 losses. We definitely tightened things up. Only 73 goals conceded, minus 15 goal difference and 42 points this season, as Bristol City, Norwich and Wolves get themselves relegated. Relatively comfortable away from that relegation zone, 11 points clear there, but miles away in my opinion from the spots above. 18 points adrift from Newcastle, who qualify for the Europa Conference League. But survival in the Premier League is kind of where we're aiming for right here, right now with Portsmouth, and we do finish inside 14th and above Southampton, which I'm sure Pompey fans will very much enjoy. In terms of the finances, again, we got another 40 odd million to spend, and that wage budget's gone up by another 200k, so that gives me a nice little buffer. I can probably start going out and signing a few more wonder kids, which is kind of where I'm looking to take this team, so that by the time it gets to the end and I hand this over and you guys can carry on this save, you've got some great talent. So without any further ado, let's go into season number 7's transfer update. I really hope you guys are enjoying this slightly longer video going into season number 7 of this Portsmouth rebuild. And again, we've been very busy. We've signed Nazareno Colombo, another centre-back, coming in from Estudiantes in Argentina. Very nice all across the board where I need him to be. Again, a vast improvement as to what we had. As I said, we need to go up in levels each season. So that's why we've gone out and spent 28.5 million on Andrea Papetti. Can play centre-back as a natural, can play right-back again as a natural. Caps for the Italian under-21 side, but no first-team caps as of yet. So we pulled the trigger and spent a decent amount of money on Andrea Papetti, but we all know how good he can be. So 28.5 million sees Andrea Papetti come to Portsmouth. Some other outgoings on the other side that I need to update you guys on. Joe Morell's gone. Stephen Walsh has gone. Jan Valeri went out on loan. Gary Barrett, let's say Barrett, went out on loan to Charlton as well. Some other outgoings on the other side. Omar Payner. He is a painer, absolute painer in my ass. He has gone out to Mainz. He was very annoyed that he didn't really play a lot last season, despite being only 19 years of age. So he's gone. I sold him. I think I lost money on him. I did. I lost $1 million on him. I can't be having people disrupting the dynamic. With how important the dynamic is this year, I can't be doing it. We let Nathan Holland go on a free. He's gone to Middlesbrough. Luke Dreher has gone to Bristol City. And Sean Raggett's gone to Millwall. Is he a former Millwall man? He's not. He's gone to Millwall. Fair play to him. Now, then we started spending some money. Let's start with the free ones first. Shamal George. I didn't have a backup goalkeeper, so I brought this guy in. Everyone was fuming. Bored. Everybody fuming that he came in. But I wanted this guy to play if anything happened to Joe Bursic, just in case, because he's a better player than everybody else that we've got. Ladislav comes in, another central midfield option, Czech international at under 21 level. He's 28 years of age now, so he hasn't taken it from strength to strength, but a nice solid central defensive midfield option, a little bit more of a ball winner is kind of what we're looking for. We've got a lot of flair players, but not a lot of guys who are going to do the nitty gritty. And then this is the big one. This is the one I'm really impressed by. Sergio Rodriguez comes in from Sporting in Portugal, 35 million for him. Wonder kid on that right hand side. This is exactly the sort of ability that I'm looking for. Great dribbling, great first touch, nice technicals. That 16 technique means he will get better as well. Great natural fitness and pace. I think he's tricky. I think he can do damage in the Premier League. But as I said, £35 million for a man who's come through Sporting's youth setup and only played 12 times last season. It is a bit much. It is a bit much, but I'm happy with the business that we've done going into this Premier League season. Just to give you a little flash up of the first 11, this is kind of where we're at right now. As we have had a lot of changes recently. Bursic there, Papetti, Perez, Dewey, Ita, Vieira, Rovella, Rodriguez, Burekins, Collier on that left-hand side and Padilla up top. We are starting to have that influx of new gen talent. We've got 3 in here as our attackers already, and I'm sure it will only go into that a little bit more. We've got a little bit more depth coming through this time around, a little bit more in terms of options coming off the bench. We've got Big Frank, we've got Eddie, Ladislav's there, Ben Johnson, Findle. As you can see, our bench is much stronger than it was last year, so I'm hoping we can kind of do a little bit better in that Premier League. In terms of the pre-season odds though, they do not really change too much for us. 400 to 1 now, so we've dropped by 500 to 1 in terms of our odds, but we are still ranked at to finish 17th, which is going to be interesting. Leicester predicted to win the league, which is crazy. Are these all Leicester players? Gio Reyna, Elix Mariba, Jude Bellingham. Oh my god. No wonder Leicester are favourites. Nuno Espirito Santo is their manager, and that's not what I want to do. I want to go into their schedule, into their tactic. Sevla, the Serbian goalkeeper, I don't think he's good. James Justin and Didi, Sionsu, Wobber, Bellingham, Mariba, Vieira, Reyna, Solomon. Yeah, this team's quite good, isn't it? And then they've got options off the bench. Donny van der Beek, Yuri Tielemans, Big Anel, João Mario, Wesley Fofana, Andre Onana. Yeah, you can see why they're predicted to do quite well, can't you? Well, let's see what happens, guys. Let's see if we can survive another year in the Premier League. This is obviously season number 7. I'll see you at the end of it. So then, end of season 7, and we've managed to crack the top 10 in the Premier League with Portsmouth. Now, I know this has taken a long time, guys, but this is a pretty big achievement for me. I'm quite happy with it. 16 victories, 5 draws and 17 losses, 67 goals scored, 71 goals conceded. We still do have that negative goal difference, which is something that I'm really going to try and work on, try and strengthen in those defensive areas again. But it's definitely going in the right direction. We are into the top 10, guys. In terms of the other competitions, knocked out in the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup by Burnley and knocked out in the 3rd round of the Carabao by Manchester City. So no real disgrace there. Teams that get relegated, Watford, Crystal Palace and Fulham all go down. Sergio Rodriguez was my top goal scorer in the Premier League. I did say this guy could be special. His physicals have gone up nicely. He's now developed the consistent performer trait, which is fantastic for me. And his ability level is only going one way, which is up. So doing very good things. 14 goals and 9 assists in all competitions for him. They all came in the Premier League. Didn't do anything in the other cup competitions, but I don't really care. The Premier League is the bread and butter. So he did very well. Shout out to a couple of the other guys. So if we go into the tactic and arrange stuff by goals, Padilla chipped in with 12, as did Big Frank. He got 12 as well, and then the others sort of go down into single digits. But you can kind of see, guys, we started to do very well. The end of the season was a little bit ropey, only beating Chelsea in the final 2 months of the season. But games against Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester United, Newcastle are actually a force in this. Goes to show that we're in good company. In terms of the finances though, 46 million again, it seems to be the magic number that we keep getting in terms of our transfer budget, but 46 million to spend, which is going to be spent, I think, largely trying to improve the defense. If we quick pick the best 11, this is kind of where we're at right now. Papetti, in my opinion, is wasted at right back. I'd like to move him into the centre, so we will go looking for a right back, I'm sure. Need to strengthen in the midfield as well, in the central midfield. Ravella is wanted. He's wanted by Brighton. He won't be going to Brighton. Also, Carl Collier is unhappy, wants to move to a bigger club, and Padilla is wanted by Burnley and Stoke as well. So it's going to be an interesting summer transfer window. Let's see what happens when we come back for season number 8 in this Portsmouth rebuild. Right then, guys, season number 8, we have some transfers to speak to you guys about. Eddie Salcido has gone to Burnley for £30 million. Ben Johnson, the right back, has also left us. He's gone to Aston Villa. We have signed this guy here, Diego Mora, goalkeeper, a young Colombian goalkeeper, 5-star potential. He won't get in the team past Joe Bursic at the moment, but what we've done is we've signed him and let him go back on loan to Atletico Nacional, the club he was at. So we have signed him. We've also signed Orlando Caspedes, is how I'm going to say this guy's name, from River. £6.75 million, another wonder kid, another 5-star player coming in from South America. Has the talent, not necessarily at that elite level yet, but I think he can grow with us. Nice technique, good first touch as well, nice flair. I think he can be a real creative force for us in that final third and breaking teams down. Good balance as well. I know I said I'd sign some fullbacks, so I have done. Caligari comes in from Fluminense for £10.75 million. He comes in to play right back to hopefully free up Andrea Papetti to play a little bit more central as a centre back. We all know about how good this guy is. He was still stuck in Brazil, so I thought, you know, let's go and sign him. He is 26 years of age now, so he is sort of as good as he's going to be. And I think he's quite nice. He's a nice little upgrade for us in those positions. Jumping forward, obviously, I try and get my business done pretty quickly. Edo Kayambe's gone as well. We signed Jan Valeri's gone. Erakovic, sorry, my Red Star dude, you're gone as well. Hampus Findle's also gone. So some of the squad depth options that we have signed, not necessarily cut in the mustard. We signed Nuno Fernandes, a central defensive player from Sporting, 26 million, which could rise to 33, but we have already loaned him out. He has gone to Swansea on loan, but looks like he could be a very, very good prospect going forward. Maybe in another year or two, he could be breaking into that starting 11, but I had some money, so I thought, why not go and spend it, despite him going out on loan. We've also signed Vittoro Emati is how I'm going to say this guy's name. Looks like he has all the attributes to be an elite level striker. Coming out of Roma, we paid some money for him, £14.75 million for Amati, and I think, again, could be a very, very good prospect. 14 finishing, 16 technique, so you know that's going to go up considering he's only 19 years of age. 5-star potential player, nice mentals, really good physicals as well. I like the balance straight, I like the strength in there as well for him as well. So very, very good acquisitions. So that means, in terms of the team, in terms of the tactic, if we quick pick the best 11, this is kind of how we're looking. Petty is still listed there, but I think what I'm probably going to do is this. And then we bring in not Colombo. Why is Caligari? He's not registered, that's why. So Bursic in goal, Caligari, Perez, Papetti, Ita, Vieira, Rovella, Rodriguez, Burakins. Collier is still here. He is still unhappy that nobody's come in for him and wants to move to a bigger club, but haven't had a bid yet. And then Padilla is the main man up top. We've got a little bit of depth here, kind of lacking a little bit in terms of Premier League depth, but we're going to have to see what we can do and build on that 10th place finish from last season. We are expected to avoid relegation again, finish in the 5th round of the FA Cup and reach the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. I like giving you the pre-season odds. In the league, we are 250 to 1 to win the league, and we are expected to finish 16th. Leicester again predicted to finish top of the tree. Leicester got a good team, man. That's all I'm going to say. Leicester have got a good team. Is this one of theirs? No, that's Yeo, who plays for Chelsea. Okay, fine. So that's the Premier League. That is season 8 transfer update. Start of the season. I'll catch you at the end of the season, guys. This is it. This is the crowning achievement. In my opinion, it will not get better than this. We did finish in 12th in the Premier League with Portsmouth. However, 2008, remember them winning the FA Cup? We've done it again. 2028-2029 season, we have won the Emirates FA Cup. I don't know how that's happened. We finished with 47 points, minus 10 goal difference in the Premier League. 13 victories, 8 draws, 17 defeats, minus 10, as I said. Padilla, top goal scorer for us with the 23 goals. He looks like a little bit of a handful, does Padilla. But we win the Emirates FA Cup, guys. Winning in the final against Manchester United of all teams, beating Manchester United on penalties. Bruno Fernandes scores a penalty and a goal for them. They've got Julian Alvarez, interestingly enough, someone who's just signed for Manchester City from River Plate, Argentinian forward. Then on our side we have Casperes, Perez and Padilla. So they score with Julian Alvarez in the 92nd minute, assuming they think they've won it, to go 3-2 up. But then Padilla with the 93rd minute goal, taking it to penalties. So and they have Patrick Berg sent off as well. Interesting. So Alvarez, Paulina and Shola, is that Shola Soter? Is that how, yeah, Shola Soter. With the penalties. Bruno Fernandes, having scored one in the main game, missed, and then Lucas Baker missing as well for United. On our end, we just had Colombo who missed, Padilla, Vieira, Big Frank and Rodriguez all slotting their penalties, seeing us lift the FA Cup. Now, whilst this was a dream for this save, I didn't really think it was going to happen. So to actually get there and do it, in terms of some of the other teams that we played, let me just filter the schedule just so that we see the FA Cup. So you can see our run. So we beat Morecambe. Had a replay against Morecambe in the 3rd round as well. Then we beat Sunderland, Coventry, Leicester on penalties. Another penalty shootout there, getting things done. Then we beat Newcastle, which is no mean feat considering they've got Mason Greenwood as well. Newcastle are quite good this year. And Manchester United in the final again on penalties. So if we bring back all the competitions, that's all of them gone, all of them back. So in terms of the Premier League though, Newcastle, crowned champions, so that's why it's more impressive that we beat them in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, but we finished in 12th probably because of the longer cup run. Means that we weren't as effective in the league, but I can kind of understand that. But that does mean we qualify for the Europa League for season number 9. In terms of those finances, because of the Europa League, we got 64 million this time. They switched the numbers around, no longer 46, now 64. So I'm gonna have to spend it all, aren't I? We're not deep enough in a lot of positions, so let's go find some squad depth. I'm sure I can spend 64 million on squad depth, right? Only a few updates to talk to you about here. Ines Haji comes in to play central attacking midfield. £21.5 million that we spent on the Romanian from Rangers. He's been there a long time. Looks like a good little player and looks very creative. Can play on the right hand side as well. Good free kick taking, good passing, great technique. It's kind of what I was looking for. Another creative player in that area who can switch around and play in a number of positions. So he comes in from Rangers. Now this is a guy who I'm very, very looking forward to having in the team. Mauricio Porras. He is a Costa Rican international coming out of LA Galaxy. Well, that's where we picked him up. Anyway, he looks like a massive step up from what we've got. He's already got 41 caps for Costa Rica. And physically, he's an absolute monster. Very, very good mentally. Technically, pretty good as well. He's a perfectionist personality. He's attacking. He's tall. He's got a great right foot. I'm hoping this guy can really help us in terms of our defence. In terms of some of the other outgoings, not a lot to talk about. And we also did sign Enrico Arribas, comes in from Bilbao, sort of a more attacking fullback on that left-hand side now. So we really went out and strengthened those defensive positions to try and counteract that goal difference that we've had. Next season maybe might be the first season, you know, in the Premier League since we returned that we actually have a positive goal difference. So in terms of the tactic and the movements that we've done, we've got a couple of people unhappy. Carl Collier is still here. He is wanted by Leicester and Tottenham, but he is no longer unhappy. So that is a positive. That is the way I see it at the very least. So this is our best 11 as things stand. Got Bursic in goal, Porras, Papetti, Perez, Arriba. Then we got Ravella alongside Vieira, Rodriguez, Haji, Collier, and then Padilla up top. This is as good a team as I've put together, I think, for Portsmouth so far. Really average, you know, consistent 3.5 star team all the way through the board. No real standout performers, but just a lot of good players. Obviously, we've got Mora back as well. We've got a lot of depth on the bench again. It seems like we've gone through a phase where we've actually got the ability to have depth now, and we're going to need it, because if we go over to the competitions tab, we've got the Community Shield. We take on Newcastle as FA Cup. We were FA Cup winners. They were Premier League winners. That goes without saying. We also enter the Europa League in the group stage. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get on in that. I feel like the fixtures are going to cause us a little bit of an issue in the Premier League. In terms of the Premier League, though, mid-table expectation there. And they also want us to reach the first knockout round of the Europa League, 5th round of the FA Cup, and 4th round of the League Cup. In terms of the Premier League and the season preview, We're slowly climbing the ranks. We are predicted to finish 12th now. Odds of 200 to 1. Still don't have anyone in this Dream 11, but we're still grinding our way out there. Hopefully we can get a little bit further up. Arsenal and Manchester United, the two favourites to win the division. So, season number 9, Europa League for Portsmouth. Let's see what happens. Okay then guys, it is the end of season number 9, and I think personally this is a fantastic showing for us. This is the competitions tab, so we finished 11th in the Premier League. We finally have a 0 goal difference. We have not had a year with a good goal difference as that for a long time since we were in the Championship. We were knocked out in the second knockout round of the Europa League by PSG. Second knockout round, we go out 1-0 to PSG. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to show you their team. So they've got Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi de Ligt, Milovanovic, Nuno Mendes, Ilyas Akomash. I don't know who this Kamara is. Mohamed Kamara looks okay. Samuel Chukwueze, Dani Olmo, Jadon Sancho, and Erling Haaland. And that team knocked us out of the Europa League 2-0, which is disappointing, but you know, it is what it is. I kind of wasn't expecting to get that far anyway. Into the third round of the Emirates FA Cup, we got beat by Leeds. Runners up in the Carabao Cup though, lost in extra time to Arsenal. If we go and check this one out, Benjamin Sesko scored a 90th minute penalty in that final. And then they scored Reece Nelson with 2 goals in extra time to kind of do the damage. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Gurigo, who I don't know, Gabriel Tierney, Iliescu, Basuma, Saka, Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson and Benjamin Sesko. It's kind of the young sort of core that Arsenal are still working with now. So it goes to show that they can be successful and will be successful if they're left there. And we're also runners up in the Community Shield as well. We lost 1-0 to Newcastle. Mason Greenwood with a 92nd minute winner, which is really irritating. So it seems like we don't have the difference makers to come off the bench. But that is the season number 9. We've got one left. I feel like the Europa League and the added fixtures and getting to the final of the Carabao Cup would kind of cause us some issues in terms of our league performance. So I'm really hoping next season we can kind of go from strength to strength. In terms of things, if we expand this and look at the stages of the Premier League, 11 victories, 11 draws and 16 losses, 69 goals scored, 69 goals conceded. Oi, oi. 0 goal difference, so 44 points. We are a little bit of a ways away, 16 points away from Brighton, who are in the first European spot, which is for the Europa Conference League, which is kind of where we'll be aiming to get kind of in between 5th and 7th. I feel like we need to start progressing with some of these new gens, and I really think that the new gens can help us with that. In terms of the finances, only 32 million here. I've been using the installments a lot, so you know, that's kind of where we're at with that. 32 million, see if I can strengthen this squad. But I think with the young players that we've got in here, I think we can really take it up a notch for season number 10. It's the 10th and final season. Be back for that in just a second. Okay guys, we have a window to update you about. So first and foremost, Carl Collier has gone to Newcastle United. He said he wanted a bigger club to come in for him. Newcastle had just won the Premier League the season prior. So he is now a Newcastle United player. He's their number 7. They bought him for £81 million straight up, which was a deal I couldn't say no to. He wanted to leave. I didn't want to hold him here. There's some fantastic profit for us, and he's been very good. 7.1 average rating last season with 13 goals and 10 assists. We're going to have to try and recreate that, you know, Moneyball style in the aggregate. We're going to try and do that. But Gurley's gone as well. Jack Cochran, one of our youngsters, is gone. Nico Ravella has gone. He went in the last season, which I completely forgot to tell you guys about. I completely forgot that he had a minimum fee release clause and Tottenham paid it. So that was annoying. So yeah, and Joe Bursick has gone as well. He wanted to leave. He's gone to Chelsea for £15.5 million. So we've made £125 million this window, which allowed me to do a little bit more spending. I completely forgot to tell you as well, in January last year, Ademir, we signed this guy, Brazilian youth international, basically to replace Ravella, that I only noticed in the January. He loves big matches and is very consistent as well, so it's kind of what I look for. Great on both feet, looks exceptional. I think he will get capped for Brazil in no time at all. We also got Robert Swaby, is how I'm going to say this guy's name, Swaby, on loan from Manchester United, former Rangers player, has been at Manchester United now, model citizen personality, wonder kid listed. He's left-footed but can play as a natural in a lot of positions and is accomplished in others, so I think he's a fantastic complement to the players that we've already got. We had to sign a new goalkeeper, so welcome in Dominic Kopp. Klopp from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He is a German goalkeeper, not been capped by the first team as of yet, but in terms of his attributes, I think he's pretty good. Maybe not as good as Joe Bursik, but a very, very nice goalkeeper to have, and a model professional personality as well. So we're trying to look at this sort of thing, this side of things as well. Then we move into the work that has happened here. Ita's gone, Colombo's gone for 8.25, the centre back that we signed, and Kevin Drummond. We've signed another Costa Rican. This time, this guy comes in from Porto to kind of play on that left-hand side in that gap that Collier has left in this team. Looks pretty good, needs a little bit more development though, probably not as good as the guy who he is replacing in that particular instance. All the competitions though, we're back to the main three here: Premier League, FA Cup and League Cup. We are expected to finish mid-table in that Premier League, and this time around let's have a look at the season preview for the 10th and final time. We are now 200 to 1 to win the league and predicted to finish in 11th. So this is the final season. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments, where do you think we're going to finish in this final season? I'll be back for that in just a second. Right then guys, this is season number 10. Thank you very much for sticking with the video. If you are still here, it really does mean a lot to me. And this is our best season so far. We finished in 7th with Portsmouth in the Premier League. In 10 years, we've taken them from League 1 all the way to 7th in the Premier League. They've had an outing in the Europa League. They won an FA Cup, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. 14 victories, 12 draws, 12 losses, 62 goals scored, 58 goals conceded. We've got a positive goal difference for the first time in the Premier League, which is 4. Annoyingly, we're a little bit of a ways away. We are 10 points behind Newcastle, who are the team above us, and we are miles off of the top 4 here. These guys just seem to go from strength to strength, with Arsenal winning the league with 94 points. At the other end of the table, Leeds, Norwich and Burnley have all been relegated. We do finish clear above Liverpool as well. Liverpool, don't know what's happened to them. They are down in 12th. I don't even know who this is as their manager. I'm sure I'm going to get panned in the comments for that. But we finish above Liverpool. We finish above Southampton. We are into 7th. We are in the Europa Conference League for next season. In terms of the other competitions though, knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup by Rochdale. Pretty bad. And knocked out in the semi-final stage of the Carabao Cup by Spurs, which again is a little bit disappointing. But in terms of everything, guys, I think we're in very, very good shape. We're going to go to the home screen here. So as you can see, Joan Padilla is our top goal scorer. Mauricio Porras, highest average rating. Most assists comes to Inas Hadji. Papetti with the best pass completion. Hadji again with the most player of the matches. Papetti with the most yellows. And Ladislav with the most red cards. The guy got 3 red cards. But this is the squad. This is the team. We've got a lot of high potential players in here. As you can see, 2 5-star potentials. We've got a 4.5 star in Amati. In potential, we've got a 4.5 star in Rolando Casebes, Porras as well, who's already operating at that 4.5 star level. Ademir, as I said, he would be a very, very good prospect. Still not capped by Brazil, but looks absolutely incredible. This squad is in fantastic, fantastic shape 10 years into the future. And that's where you guys come in. This save is done for me. It's done and dusted. But what I will do is I will put it in my Discord channel for you guys to come and check out and take over from now. So join the Discord using the link at the top of the description. Come in. There is a thread in there for FM22 Rebuild. You can go in, pick up this save not long after the video has gone live, and take over this Portsmouth team and take them to the next level where I couldn't take them. And please do, if you do that, let me know how you get on with this team. But that is where I'm going to end things for today, guys. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like on it down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here and picking up the content for the very first time. And until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you next Sunday for another FM22 Rebuild.